My name is Eric Zeezer. I'm the Global Product Manager, as Bill mentioned, for our Compact Equipment segment. So what that is for Case, our Compact Equipment segment is our skid steers, our compact track loaders, but also our backhoe loaders, our mini excavators, and our compact wheel loaders. So it's my privilege and honor to be here today to get to be the one to announce to you guys the exciting changes in our B-Series skid steers and compact track loaders. So before we dive into the details, a quick highlight and refresh of our offering. As Bill mentioned, we do have 8 skid steers and 5 compact track loaders in our offering, and within that range we've got a very exclusive option package of varying sizes, model offerings of radial, vertical, different horsepower ranges, different options, different control patterns of mechanical hand and foot, or electro-hydraulic controls, trying to meet the operator needs for all types of operators, preferences, historic, current, and new generation. In addition, we still have multiple options of hydraulic flows, standard flow, pH high flow, ride control, self-leveling, all kinds of features like that. Most of that, same as Alpha Series, carried into the B Series. One other point of interest also, prior to jumping into the B Series, for everybody's awareness, the skid steers and compact track loaders for Case worldwide are manufactured in Wichita, Kansas, right here in the United States of America. So all the work done in the B Series has been done by our team in Wichita. We've had a lot of pride and a lot of hard work has gone in to developing, testing, and now manufacturing these B Series skid steer loaders in Wichita, Kansas. The machines kind of look very similar to our Alpha Series. So as the age-old saying goes, the true beauty lies within. The same can be said about our new B Series. The beauty of the B Series is within the operator compartment and also below the machine. So it's really inside, and we've done a lot of work in re-engineering the critical components of the electrical, the software, the hydraulics to improve these machines and to try to build on having the best machines to compete in harsh working environments and tough climates that our operators put them in. On top of that, the machines have been re-engineered to stand up the toughest tests. So, with that, Bill, let's have you take a jump inside. We'll do a little walk around and talk to you guys and show you the new features in the B Series. So as Bill's jumping in, one quick comment here, very similar to today. We've maintained our wide cabin and our low entry threshold. The benefit obviously of that low entry threshold is easy in and out of the cab, but in addition to that, that low entry threshold is complementing our industry-leading 360-degree visibility, giving him a good sight line down to the cutting edge of the bucket. We're running attachments. You can see that bucket. You can see the bucket teeth right there from his bird's eye view. In addition to our 360-degree visibility, we've got large side windows and a large rear curved glass inside the machine. And the importance really, more than the glass, is what's behind the glass. So on a Case skid steer and CTL, specific kind of vertical lift machine, you look behind there, you can't even see the H-link. And as Bill looks up as well through our rear view mirror, we've got a large wide rear view mirror that projects the entire width of the cab through that rear window and even side windows. And there's no obstruction of an H-link or anything through that back window. The rear hood is quite low as well, giving great visibility. So all that is maintained the same as our Alpha Series, but however we've done also other steps to improve the visibility with your backup cameras we'll talk about shortly. So we'll do kind of a bottom-up approach now in the cab. Starting down inside the cab, like I mentioned before, our really wide cab has been improved upon a little bit. We've redesigned the left-hand bottom side. You can kind of see, hard to see past Bill's foot there, but we've got a new cup holder storage area down the left-hand side. Tuck that in, give you more space for the feet, but still giving the operator convenience of that cup holder storage area. And then as we move up a little bit in the knee and the thigh area, we've pushed out those controls, those control pods, give an operator more legroom inside the cabin, more comfort of the operator, obviously. As we talked about job sites, the importance of the operator being comfortable leads to productivity, better savings for the customer, better profit for the business, all important things to keep in mind. Next, as we move up, is the joysticks, where the operator's hands are all day long on the joysticks. We've redesigned the joysticks, brand new layout of switches, controls, providing fingertip joystick triggers, and also all the key features right there at the touch of the palm of the hands. These joysticks have a smaller head than our previous generation, so a little more comfortable for the operator's hands, and also a little better feel of the buttons and the position of the buttons that he's using most frequently. As we move up in the cabin, the rest of the posts, all the displays, the buttons, the switches, have changed going up those posts. One key aspect of it is on the right-hand side, is for the startup operation. We've taken pride in simplifying the operation of startup and operating the machine. We've gone to a keyless start like today, but It's a very intuitive style of a startup now, with a almost automotive-like, without a key turning and starting the machine there. And then as you go to operate the machine, a large push to operate button to release the park brake, and that enables your hydraulics to then operate. Very simple, intuitive for any operator. We know that a skid like tractor loader with such a large industry, utilized in many applications and industries, constantly new operators jumping in the machine, so very important to be able to be simple to operate and intuitive. In addition, the hand throttle there, you can see the second one down, used to be a mechanical or a lever. There's now a rotary hand dial to better precisely dial in, whether it's your attachment flow you're looking for or your speed, dial that into the right RPM setting you're looking for. One last comment on the cab there before jumping into the meat of it is one Bluetooth radio. There, the right-hand top side, we now have a standard Bluetooth radio. Once again, focused on operator comfort, performance, safety, having to take those phone calls as required via Bluetooth, keeping the hands and eyes where they need to be on the operation. So Bill, if you don't mind, let's move up to the display. Really the key aspect of the B series is this new 8-inch LCD display. This has a couple industry exclusive items on it, not only size and color of it, but it's an industry exclusive split screen on there, giving us full visibility of that rear view camera all the time. So the rear view camera is standard with the LCD display, and it's got two modes you can have it set in. The way it is in right now, Bill's got the camera on all the time, so not distracting. So this guy, whatever he's doing, he can have visibility of what's behind him constantly, and he still has his main machine parameters at the bottom of the screen there, where you can see his tack, fuel level, all that stuff constantly. However, you can also change that to be a vacuum camera that's in reverse only. So if you push that button, Bill, you can turn that camera off for us. And when he turns the camera off, now at the top part of the screen is now dedicated to your trips. You have two trip settings, which is kind of like a job site setting. And depending on the operator passcode that's put in, it recognizes what job site he was working on, and then now controls your stats on that job site. If you're monitoring the hours of usage, fuel consumption on the job site, things that are billable, that type of stuff you need to know what's on that specific job site.
And just two?
There's two, trip A and trip B, yes ma'am. The other key feature of the display and layout, if you look down to the bill, there's a button there that has the ISO and the H pattern. ISO and H pattern, same as today. However, very easy to operate now. We got a large button there. Toggle it, hold it down for 3 seconds. You'll hear a beep inside the cab so that you know you purposefully meant to change from ISO to H pattern. You don't want to mess anybody up. And then that'll light up, and the operators change the pattern from ISO to H, allowing varying operating styles to be efficient. And regardless of which pattern you're in, you now have a dedicated section on this display for the control settings of the EH. We know how important it is to be able to properly manage the speed of your hydraulic fluid, your drive. So we've got 4 dedicated buttons here in the bottom left to control the EH settings. Starting from left to right, we've got a low, and then a medium, and then a high. Those 3 settings are kind of a simple way to adjust from low, medium, high sensitivity. If you want to quickly modify, whether you're doing an application where you're just trying to do some quick hogging out of dirt, put it in a high setting, very responsive. All of a sudden you're going to a more precise fine grading, be a little smoother, go to a low setting very quickly and easily. However, the 4th button is a custom setting. Custom setting, no different than we had previously in our previous generation. However, now a little simpler to get into, and now modify that per user code setting. So with this display, when a customer jumps in, starts it up, he enters his passcode. That passcode can recognize how he set up the custom Easy EH in his system. So Bill, if you don't mind, jump into the menu quick. Let's take a quick look at what they can modify in a custom EH setting. So Bill jumped in the menu, toggling down to the EH custom, in the Easy EH custom settings. You now see that in there, the operator can exactly modify whether he wants the drive speed to be slower or faster, whether he wants the hydraulic flow to run faster or slower, whether he wants to change sensitivity of his joysticks, so that depending on his application, his feel, he can have that machine set up perfectly for him and that job site. All right, thank you, Bill. Another key feature while we're in these menus we'll talk about on the B series is our new economy mode settings. We now have several features built in with the economy mode that allows you to better utilize the machine from a fuel performance standpoint, and also from a protecting the vehicle depending on certain issues. So in there we got economy mode on or off, and then an engine protection. So when you're in the economy setting, what's that doing is that's an auto shutdown basically, which will shut down your engine after a certain amount of idle time, but also an auto shut off of the system. If the machine is shut off, For example, you leave the battery, you leave the ignition key on, it'll cut that out after a certain period of time to avoid draining your batteries. In addition, we do have the engine protection, which is watching for key faults or key issues in the engine, temperature, oil pressure. It will also force you into an engine shutdown to protect that engine from any major catastrophic failures. All right, thank you, Bill. Let's jump back out of that one and talk a little bit about the other benefits here. Creep mode. So as it scrolls down to the creep mode, a new feature also in the B series are creep mode. I jumped over it quick on the left-hand joystick. I didn't want to steal a thunder yet till we got to here. But as you look at that display, Bill was showing there a 1 through 25, or 1 through, at the moment it's a 25 I think, but a 1 through 100 in that display. In the display you'll see what setting you're on, but the creep mode is managed by the left-hand operator's rabbit and turtle to go faster in increments of 1. And for those of you that are not familiar with what a creep mode is, it's basically a cruise control on the vehicle. So if you're running a cold planer, for example, where you want to have your RPMs all the way up for high full flow of the hydraulics, yet you want your ground speed to be very slow, and if you have your RPMs all the way up and your ground speed you want to be very sensitive, you put it in creep mode, you push that joystick all the way forward, and then with the touch of the button, he can adjust the speed of the vehicle in increments of 1 all the way to 100. And while he's doing that, that'll be visible on the display, showing which creep mode setting you're in at that moment. It's also a new feature on the B Series today. Next benefit of this display is the overall maintenance. When we talk about maintenance, we now have all the maintenance items bundled into the display. So no different than before. Our maintenance intervals didn't change from the Alpha series. However, now in the display, it makes it very easy for the operator, the service technician, the fleet manager to manage all 12 of the different intervals, whether he's doing them together or separate. He can now see when his last interval was done, what is the recommended OEM service interval from Case, and then he can reset that. If he finishes the service and wants to reset that hour meter, he can track all 12 of those independently on the display. And then lastly, Bill, is the fault code screen. Hopefully you don't see any fault codes pop up here, but we do know it's an unnecessary evil that, with electronics emissions, at times there may be a fault code. On a lot of machines, a fault code pops up, you get a number and a letter that have no clue what that means. The benefit of the 8-inch LCD display is we can now put in there text, descriptions, explain to that operator what is going on, give him the opportunity to understand the issue, potentially diagnose it on his own, and see if he can resolve the issue before having to call a dealer, make a service call, or avoid unnecessary downtime on the job site. Ground line serviceability is critical for us, keep the operator safe on the ground, but then also a group maintenance. So all of your daily checks, fills, and service is done at the rear of the machine, all grouped together. So on this machine, this is a 90 horsepower, so this machine does have DEF and FCR, but there you see your DEF fill, your hydraulic oil fill, diesel fill, and all of your oil checks and filters are all right there in the back of the machine, very easy to get to. In addition, while we're talking service, let's talk emissions for a minute, Tier 4 final. I mentioned earlier that we've got a wide range of engine horsepowers, and obviously that's driven by not only the size of the machine, but also with Tier 4 final emissions requirements. There's 2 different varying horsepower ranges. The 74 horsepower range, we provide a system that's no DEF, so a very simple machine, a DOC only, no regeneration on any of our models, except for the single smallest model in our lineup, the SR160, has DPF. The rest of the machines are a maintenance-free, no DPF system. As we get to the 90 horsepower larger machines, they do require the filling of DEF, but still, once again, no regen and no maintenance of filters required. And then lastly, from a service standpoint, unfortunately we can't show you today, but as I mentioned before, is that the B Series beauty lies within. We saw within the cab all the changes there. The rest of the features are all hidden for you guys inside the vehicle. So the re-engineering I talked about, the electrical, the software, the hydraulics. With 2 bolts in the back, we can tilt the cab forward. So if the customer requires any major service actions required in the vehicle, very simple to tilt that cab forward. And when he does that, any technician or operator will realize that the inside of the machine's been relayed out, really to make the machine stand out to the toughest environments. So from an electrical standpoint, from a hydraulic standpoint, reinforce the routing, reinforce the ports, and really trying to make sure we prevent dust collection and dust from getting inside there, all the stuff that's harsh on those components inside the vehicle. So a lot of care has been taken in making sure this vehicle is built to stand up to the toughest conditions out there.